prolific All That Matters returns to Singapore again this year, and we're very, very happy to be here again. We get such great reception from the people here in Singapore, and this week it will be, or rather this year, it will be extended from May 20th to May 25th. So be sure to mark that in your calendars, May 20th to May 25th this year, and it's going to be something very special indeed, because this year we will be including business-to-business conferences, workshops, mentoring, and networking. Folks, we have digital matters, we've got music matters, and we've got the new sections that is social matters in partnership with our very good friends at Ogilvy, and we've also got sponsorship matters, and believe me folks, they do. We've also got business-to-fan events. We've got the 4th edition, folks, of Music Matters Live, powered by HP, and the 2nd edition of the YouTube Fan Fest, and powered by HP, featuring some of Singapore's favorite YouTubers, not just from here in the Lion City, but all over the world as well. We'll be flying in especially for that week. Also, folks, we've got education. We've got Music Matters Live Academy, and we've also got YouTube Fan Fest Academy, and I will let the man behind the wheel explain to you in a little more detail what those are a little bit later on. Folks, this event is spectacular. It is fully endorsed by our friends at the Singapore Tourism Board and Infocom Development Authority. All That Matters will be taking place again this year at the majestic Ritz-Carlton Millenia. It will also be taking place here at Scape, and also a number of live music venues around Clarke Quay and around the city as well. Again, nothing short of spectacular. So enough from me. I'm going to bring up the man who is the driving force, the spearheader of the whole thing. I like to refer to him as the Godfather, because he is. And for those of you that know him, will know exactly why that is. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you would, a round of applause for the co-founder and organizer of Branded Limited. He's here with us today, the very sexily dressed Mr. Jasper Gilman. Hello.
You call me the Godfather because I'm fat?
No comments.
Slightly overweight?
It's the suits, my friend.
So Dom's just done my entire presentation. What started 9 years ago as a music conference in another country north of here, 4 years ago came to Singapore with the support and the assistance, an invitation of the Singapore government. In 2012, we involved YouTube for the first time. We became Asia's first music festival to broadcast live around the world, which was great for all of our bands, getting global exposure. Then last year, as Dom said, we brought in the YouTube Fan Fest. Now, there's so much going on, we couldn't find a name for it. And so All That Matters stuck, because it really is all that matters in digital and media and entertainment. For people at the top of the tree, but also, as you'll see as this goes on, a lot of people who are just starting their careers. In fact, for people who haven't even started their careers, we're trying to make things matter for them. So, for those of you who didn't see any of it last year, there's a quick minute-long promo of what happened in Singapore in May last year, which we're still actually trying to get over. We were so tired by the end of it. But here's what happened last year.
Singapore was the site.
So for everybody watching all over the world, make some noise!
For 5 days in May, there was live music and entertainment, thousands of fans, and the award-winning Digital and Music Matters Conference was the platform for a unique annual Asia-Pacific event. The week began with a unique new event, the YouTube Fan Fest, sponsored by HP, featuring 18 of the world's biggest online stars.
What's up, YouTube Fan Fest? How y'all feeling tonight?
And even witnessed a surprise visit by Joe Perry, the guitarist of famed US act Aerosmith.
Now, what we saw last night, the fan fest was incredible.
Another feature of this year's event was Digital Matters, a 2-day conference presented by Windows Azure and boasting some of the field's biggest innovators, including talks by renowned artist Amanda Palmer and Microsoft's Taras Bugir. There were more than 50 live acts from Asia and around the globe. Expert panels on a wide variety of subjects.
So I always told myself that if I ever got an opportunity to be in this business and be around people with talent, I was going to make sure that I brought out that driving passion inside of them.
The debut of a Music Matters Academy, featuring industry experts tutoring tomorrow's stars. And over 10,000 fans attending 160 shows at several venues across the city, all broadcast live on YouTube.
Got 60 hours live through the week, multi-venues with, I think, as I said, 58 bands, we had 18 YouTube stars, we had 135 speakers.
This is a place, if you're interested in doing business in Asia, 3 billion people, this is where you need to come.
I cannot wait for 2014.
And here we are. Was that a bit scripted? So I'm going to race through this bit because, as Dom said, we have four main pillars that we're following every year. Started with music and digital, now we're bringing in social and sponsorship as well. Sponsorship I'm going to talk about in a second, but very, very important to anyone who works in the entertainment business. Sponsorship, we can't survive without sponsorship, and so we're doing a lot now to push that agenda. Don't worry about this is my life for the next 3 weeks. It's a 5-day crazy schedule that it's all up on our website. This is what is going to happen in Singapore at the end of May. But I'm going to take you through the week in a little bit more detail, but what we're going to do is start at the end of the week, you see what I mean? Because Bethany in New York, which I'm going to bring up in a second, what's the time there? It's 11:30 at night, and she's still only 18 years old. So we're going to start with the Fan Fest and then go back through the rest of the week. But before we hear from Bethany, I want to introduce someone who's very important to us. Last year we did the YouTube Fan Fest with HP at the Ritz-Carlton. It was fantastic, but we outgrew that immediately. And this year we're delighted to be in Scape. I've been a huge fan of this property for many, many years. It's fantastic, and if you're a young kid, what an amazing experience they can give you here. I wish I had something like Scape when I grew up in London. I think we had a canal. So I'd like to introduce a very good friend of ours who's been incredibly accommodating. The Fan Fest is going to take over every single nook and cranny and corner of Scape for 2 days in May. So I believe the acting managing director of Scape, Marcus Chi, is here to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. So this is Scape. I'm sure most of you would have heard of Scape before, but not many of you would have come here before. I think first of all, we are very honored and excited to be able to host YouTube Fan Fest this year. YouTube, as you know, is the place that gives young people the opportunity to go from a commoner to an overnight sensation and all that. And that is what Scape wants to do. Like our motto says, we want to dream it and live it. And this is a place where we want to encourage young people to come and live their dreams. We want to be here to lower the barrier for young people to really follow their dreams and not be stuck in the stereotypical Singapore society where only academics matter. Right? So that is what Scape is all about, and YouTube Fan Fest is definitely a way of us showing that, as a young person, if you have a dream, if you have an interest, there is a potential for you to move up and to excel in what you do and to be able to reach out to the global audience. So moving on this year, currently Scape is looking into a few different genres or different areas of interest, mainly in entrepreneurship, in performing and visual arts, in the urban sports arena. Moving this year, because of our recognition of the importance of the role media plays in a young person's life, this year we're going to focus on media as well. And in the next few months, we're going to develop a video recording facility in Scape to again provide the accessibility for young people to be able to produce their own shows here. So coming back to YouTube Fan Fest, we're very, very happy to be able to host it here. And Jasper and team has been wonderful in putting up a very awesome performance. And we are really excited to see it happen soon. So, dreaming and living here at Scape, now you know what it's about and how we fit in the context. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. If you want to just stay here, Marcus, thank you very much. Next up, none of what we're talking about today would be possible if it wasn't for our friends at HP. They've been supporting us now, I think this is our 4th year. It really is a remarkable relationship and partnership that will unfold over the next 3 weeks. It's more than just a badging exercise. The whole of today, all the computers are HP, all the devices. Dom's on HP, but all of the talent will be working with HP, and a lot of the content that's produced will be rendered using HP products. So it's a fabulous relationship. We can't do any of the week that matters without HP. So very fortunate that we have HP's Consumer Marketing Director, Shriram Desikan, with us today.
Hi, morning everybody. Thanks, Jasper. Thanks for coming. Our relationship, as Jasper said, is now 4 years old with Music Matters. When YouTube was piloting YouTube FanFest last year, we were with them, and when we were there in the event, the energy was so fantastic, and the breadth of talent that we could see across Music Matters and YouTube FanFest and the other events was so fantastic, so great. It sort of filled our hearts with pride that young kids are so talented and they could do so much to gain influence across the world. And it gave HP a chance, very simply put, to showcase our technologies. You will see this year along the event that both on the front end, as Jasper said, people like Dom use HP, or the artists use HP and see the wonderful stuff they create. Or at the back end, when we have our commercial machines on workstations. HP is the only company that can sort of get technology to work across the entire broad range of applications, and hopefully we make it matter for all the social media matters and the digital matters and music matters in YouTube FanFest. I'd like to thank all the YouTube stars for giving us an opportunity to serve you with our technology. Technology is fundamentally an enabler, but finally what you do is what matters more than what we do, and that's a great opportunity for us. We are also launching, there are some machines. I'd encourage all of you to have a look, browse around after the event, and you'll see how HP can make it matter for all the events that are happening on here. So I'll keep this short. Thank you.
Thank you, Shriram. Okay, so who here hasn't heard of YouTube? Just in case anyone here hasn't heard of YouTube and came down from Mars this morning, here's a tiny little reminder.
Now with YouTube, my generation, the minute they want to watch something, it's there, it's ready to play.
I've got to know what's going on every single day.
If you think about movies, in the past it was like everyone got everything from movies. You'd go to the cinema and there'd be a newsreel and then a cartoon before the picture actually started. Now you get that from YouTube. It's the same thing, but you've got this dynamic aspect of choice.
And you know what, I don't really care if the content's been shot on a professional camera, I just want it to be engaging.
I do use the comment section because I like to know what people think. I like to know their feedback on the things that I upload.
My boss would ask me, and I wasn't quite sure because I just graduated, and so I'd go on YouTube and I'd just watch like a tutorial. That's how I got through my first job.
Not only do you have the opportunity to watch the actual content, but you have that immediate interaction where you can tell someone exactly what you thought of it.
YouTube is more community-based because you can have conversations and comments.
It is so relatable. It's direct to me. It doesn't have to go through a whole chain of command.
I think people have always been creative, but now there's that medium to get your content out there.
It's a way for me to access a whole new range of content.
I like to find out how to do special effects makeup.
A grade, someone's fallen off their bike, you just use crushed up cornflakes and strawberry jam.
We've got this great media setup, so we watch YouTube on our TV, which is really cool. We watch in high definition. My boyfriend's really into surfing, so we watch lots of surfing videos.
It's a good way to learn languages too. I'm just practicing my Japanese through YouTube now, and it's not going so well, but it's nani iteru ka wakannai. It means I have no idea what you're talking about.
YouTube for my generation has become a verb, it's a doing word. If you want to find something, let's YouTube it. Everything is on YouTube.
So I'd like to introduce you to a guy who at the moment I speak to more on a daily basis than I speak to my wife. He's the Asia Pacific head, it's true. He's the Asia Pacific head of partner marketing, Marek Davidovich.
Thanks, Jasper. Thank you everyone for coming. It's a great opportunity to be here, especially with what we're going to deliver in Singapore. The lineup is fundamentally spectacular. It's amazing that we've been able to get all these creators here in Singapore, let alone also the creators locally. So Dee, Treat Potatoes team, we're going to be here today, so thank you very much for taking part of this in the YouTube Fan Fest. There's three things I just want to cover really in terms of why this is so important for YouTube. Fundamentally, what YouTube is trying to do is trying to support our creators. Without our creators, such as the guys in the room, YouTube would be nothing. So through YouTube Fan Fest, this gives us an opportunity to actually support our creators, get them to find an audience, not only online, but also offline. So really exciting to be rolling out a project such as this. Secondly, and probably even more important, is that our local stars will get to collaborate with international stars. So when you see these collaborations happen, it's going to be absolutely amazing. You'll see the magic happen. So I'm really looking forward to that. And lastly, they're going to meet their fans. Face to face, not on a computer screen, but the fans are actually going to be in that room. So really excited to see what's going to happen at FanFest, and let's get the show on the road, Justin.
Thanks, Marek. Has anyone ever seen someone from YouTube in a jacket? This is the first. So before we meet Bethany and the stars, and before we go a little bit more into what's happening in Singapore, I want to take a step back to where we were a year ago when we first announced the YouTube Fan Fest with HP. And in 25 years of working in the entertainment business, I thought I knew it all. And in 25 years of working in the entertainment business, the whole thing was just completely erased. Wow.
That's awesome.
This is because Facebook aren't involved, right? We had, I think, the stars that we had, I can't remember, they had 18 million subscribers between them. They had a couple of billion views. People like Ryan Higgy, you saw from the video. We thought we knew how to handle them. We thought we knew what to do. We thought we'd just, sneak them in everywhere, get them in through the hotel back elevators, through the kitchens, deal them like stars. But no, they're standing there on the steps of the Ritz-Carlton saying, "Hey, Singapore, I'm here, come and see me." And there's hundreds and thousands of kids running around trying to connect with their idols. It was amazing, and we were totally unready for it. For example, I'm going to show you a very quick clip of a couple who any of you over the age of 20 probably won't have heard of. They're called Eat Your Kimchi. There's a lot of under 20-year-olds here. Or very cool parents. Eat Your Kimchi, Canadian couple living in Korea, vlog about K-pop in English. Okay? They have 500,000 subscribers, so they're certainly not the biggest channel in the world. They have a lot of very good fans, and they sent one tweet from Incheon Airport that even if we'd seen, shut up. Even if we had seen the tweet, we wouldn't have thought anything about it. The tweet said, "Hey Singapore, we're going to see you in 5 hours," and this is what happened at the airport.
Vroom! We arrived in the airport now.
Where are we? What country are we in?
Welcome to Singapore.
Nice to meet you. So I'm a little bit shocked right now. So you expect some of the Nazis to show up over here? Can you believe it? That is a big
Monday night, 10:30, Singapore Changi Airport, 250 screaming kids meeting a married couple who vlog in English about K-pop. It wasn't Justin Bieber, it wasn't Lady Gaga, it wasn't Dom Lau, or even Marek. They vlog about K-pop. Then in September, and Bethany's been wonderfully patient in New York at the moment, we were introduced to and we fell in love with a teenage American called Bethany Mota, who again, unless you are one of her fans, it's very unlikely you would have heard of her. She's an amazing inspiration and a real lesson in social media. But Bethany vlogs about lifestyle, makeup, hair. If you're a teenager going back to school, what you should do. For anyone with daughters, she's wonderful. She came to join us for an event we did in Hong Kong, where again she sent one tweet saying, hey, I'm going to be in Hong Kong on Tuesday. If you want to meet me, click here. Now we had a Google Doc set up, Google Form set up to capture all the entries, and within an hour we had 2,000 Hong Kong girls enter for a meet and greet. Within an hour. There had been no rumours about her coming, nothing anywhere about her coming. Within an hour, 2,000 entries, we had to close it down. And I'm going to show you a very, very quick video now of her at a conference. So what we did at the conference is we brought her fans in, 200 of them into the conference, and this is what happens. And bear in mind, she vlogs about lifestyle and beauty and hair and makeup.
So many outfits tonight.
So I won't go on with that, but it's a conference. And what we're learning now, this is what I was saying about everything I ever learned in 25 years being thrown out the window, is that there is an amazing number of amazing people who have a talent. And that talent is to make great content about the subject of their choice, and then communicate and connect with a fan base, sometimes in the millions, sometimes in the tens of millions, on an ongoing basis. But they're not musicians, they're not actors, they're not classic stars, but these are what we believe is the new Hollywood A-lister. And this is why we're doing, as Marek said, this is why we're doing the YouTube Fan Fest with HP, to allow these stars to come offline and meet their fans in an intimate setting. So anyway, it was so successful we thought, wow, we need to take these guys on the road. We were getting tweets and requests and everything on Google Plus saying, come to India, come to Philippines, come to Indonesia, come to. So we're going on tour, and we've got the tour t-shirt now, and we're on tour with the YouTube Fan Fest, and we're going to be visiting a country near you. We went to India on the 1st of March in Mumbai and had quite an amazing time with people like Bethany and Superwoman who are going to be coming to Singapore. But here's what happened in India.
I'm very excited. I'm freaking out right now.
Full of water, would it sink or float?
So India went crazy for the YouTube stars. The event trended on Twitter as #1 in India a week before the event. That doesn't happen. You trend at the event and just after the event, but never for a whole week leading up to the event, because everyone was so excited that the stars were coming. By the way, Shah Rukh Khan on stage there, you know, the ultimate Hollywood icon. Do you know why he was there? Because his daughter wanted tickets. True, absolutely true. And he came up to us after the show and said, thank you for making me the coolest dad in the world. And I'm like, but you're the coolest dad. I mean, you're Shah Rukh Khan. And he said, not to a teenage daughter. So we had a great time in India with the stars. Next up is Singapore. And if you haven't seen this already, 60,000 people have. Here's the promo, here's the trailer for what we're doing here.
Want to laugh? Yeah. Like fashion tips? Yes. Love to be entertained? It's back! The all-new YouTube Fan Fest with HP, starring Brian Higger, Jenna Marbles, Bethany Mota, Vasquez, Vsauce, Steakosh, and many more. The YouTube FanFest at HP. Get your tickets now. Singapore, are you ready?
So I said, that video went up at midnight on Thursday. It's already had 60,000 views. We're going to be going to Sydney the week after, and the Sydney promo's only had 30,000 views. So we've got a nice little race battle going between Singapore and Sydney. But look, enough about me for now. Bethany's being incredibly patient, waiting in New York to talk to everyone. I'm going to hand back to Dom. He's going to take you through who's going to be at the FanFest with HP, and then I'll finish with the rest of the conference. But
all right, cool. Thank you very much, Jax. Right, that's just the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. But as Jasper says, without further ado, we must welcome into the room, if albeit virtually, the wonderful Bethany Mota, who Jasper has introduced to us. Is Bethany there? She's going to be joining us here in Singapore. She's been very, very patient. Bethany! Bethany, hello. Thank you so much for being so, I don't know where to look. Should I look there? Should I look there? Thank you so very much for being so incredibly patient. You're in New York right now, and is it tomorrow yet? Is it midnight yet there?
It is almost midnight, 20 minutes until midnight actually.
20 minutes till midnight. All right, well, we don't want to keep you past your bedtime, so we'll try and keep this short and sweet. First of all, I just want to say, almost like an advanced congratulations. Your channel will be turning 5 in just a couple of months' time, isn't that right?
Yeah, and that's crazy to think that I started my YouTube channel 5 years ago when I was 13. I had no idea that I'd be doing it for this long, and it doesn't even feel like 5 years because I'm having so much fun doing it, so it's kind of crazy.
It is very crazy, but we're loving it, and indeed, millions upon millions of people all over the world are loving it. It's going to be pretty much the coolest job in the world. You know, you talk about fashion, you talk makeup, you talk about anything and everything that is relevant to young folks today. I mean, what's it like for you being able to say, just, you know, all you need is a camera, and you say, welcome to my office. It's the coolest job in the world, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool because when I first started my YouTube channel, I was always really shy. Everyone growing up always knew me as this really shy little girl. You know, my sister was the outgoing one. I was the one who never really said anything. I didn't have much of an opinion. So YouTube and my channel allowed me to have that opinion that I never had. And it really allowed me to express my creativity and show people what I had to say and what my opinion was. And the fact that so many people care to actually hear it means so much to me, and it's just a crazy outlet that I have made, and I think it's so much fun.
You've been to India, you're coming back to Singapore, you've done Hong Kong, you're going to be going to Australia as well. Does it blow your mind, as opposed to just seeing a number, a figure on the computer screen, does it blow your mind when you come out to places like over here in Asia, the amount of fans that you have?
It completely blows my mind, especially because I had never been out of the United States until last year, and I never thought that people out of the country watched my videos. So when I started traveling out of the US and I started seeing how many people over there in different countries watched my channel, that was so eye-opening and mind-blowing to me that my videos could literally reach girls all around the world, and that's what really inspires me to keep going. And also, I was always very scared of traveling. Like, I just didn't like getting on airplanes, I just didn't really like traveling. And now I'm in love with it, and YouTube and going to FanFest and all of this has really allowed me to travel and get to meet all of my viewers around the world and get to know them, which, I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Absolutely not. And, you know, one of the great things about traveling, and I know that you indulged a little bit when you were in Singapore last, is, of course, the amazing shopping that there is to do whilst you're in the Lion City. Now, I can just tell by your reaction right there. Are you going to be doing any vlogs? Are you going to be doing any videos whilst you're in Singapore to talk about, like, the sort of things that you can get in Singapore?
Yeah, I'm actually so excited to go back to Singapore. I had such an amazing time when I was there. So I'm really excited to, go shopping again. And then I'm actually probably going to be vlogging a lot. That's something my viewers really want me to do. Plus, why not? I want to show them the things that they might not be able to see or the places they might not be able to travel to. I want to kind of bring them along with me. So I'm definitely going to be doing some more videos when I'm over there.
Excellent. And, Justin Bieber has his Beliebers, and I think, Selena Gomez, what are they called? Selena? I don't know what. Dom Lau's got the Dominators, I guess, but you have Motivators, right? Did you pen that, or was it one of your fans or something? Who came up with Motivators?
They made that name themselves because my last name is Moda, and then, they got it from the name Motivate. But they kind of just switched it with my name, so instead of it being how it's supposed to be spelled, they put Motivator. And I thought it was really amazing. One day I just got on Twitter and a few people were calling themselves that, and then more people caught on, and now it just became this really big community of motivators.
Excellent. And of course, it's non-stop for you. I don't want to keep you any longer, but one last question. I know it's non-stop for you, Beth, because you started out on YouTube, and it's just your career. It's still in its infancy, but it's flourished incredibly. And you've got clothing lines. You've got more going on than just YouTube. Can you give us an idea of what else you're doing?
Well, I'm just working on new content. Like I said, I've been traveling a lot and doing a lot of things, so it's kind of hard to keep up with that, but I'm trying my best. I have new clothing lines coming out, new videos, and there's a few other things that I can't mention, but no matter what I do, I always want to make sure that I keep my YouTube channel my #1 priority, because without my viewers, I wouldn't be doing anything I'm doing now, so I'm just focusing on that and everything else that comes my way.
Excellent, and we love you for it. Thank you so very much, Beth, and we look forward to seeing you back here in Singapore come May for the YouTube Fan Fest powered by HP. I want to let you go before it hits midnight. I know Mama and Daddy Moda might be kind of concerned about the time right now, so I'll let you go. But thank you so very much for being so patient.
No problem, thank you.
We'll see you soon. Bethany Moda, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't she just have the best smile? Love it. Love it. Oh, she's still there? Oh. Okay, so, Bethany Moda, Jasper, as you said, we weren't prepared for the kind of anarchy that took place in both Hong Kong and in India and in Singapore. But Beth is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. As Jasper mentioned, we have some amazing YouTube stars coming from far and wide, not just here in Singapore, but from all over the world, including Jenna Marbles. Jenna Marbles, ladies and gentlemen, has, you see it right there, 13 million plus viewers. She's going to be joining us. Of course, this guy needs no introduction. We got Ryan Higa. Yeah. This was sick. I have never seen so many people go so crazy for something. Ryan Higa was out here. We got Vsauce, the ultimate did you know man. Seriously, if you guys haven't checked out his channel or his videos, be sure that you do. Some very interesting stuff on there. Damascus, he's a gang fan. Clearly. He's got 5 million plus viewers. We got Tyler Oakley. He saw some amazing vlogs on YouTube to the tune of 4 million people so far. Superwoman, of course, who was there in India, who is an absolute wonderful talent. We got Troy Sivan. He's a vlogger, and he's also a musician who just signed recently EMI, if I'm not mistaken. Our buddy David Choi, he was here at Fan Fest at Music Matters last year, so he's a wonderful talent. We're glad to have him back. The Three Potatoes. The Tree Potatoes, that's not me saying number 3. The Tree Potatoes. They're also here with us today. We'll be speaking to them a little bit later on. But
I think your name's gone from Dominator to Lousy.
Yeah. Joseph Jamani from Malaysia. Now, Shashet, who is a local here in Singapore, she's like the Bethany Moda of Singapore in some respects. We've also got Lodia Cosplay Anime. She's fantastic. Wow. So, I digress. We've got Tosh. Yeah, he's a very awesome rapper. D-Kosh, he's also in the house with us this morning. We'll be speaking to him later on. We've got Shiga Shay. You guys know Shiga Shay. And we've also got Jakarta Beatbox as well. Guys, I said, just the tip of the iceberg. A lot of fantastic stars and starlets coming over to Singapore for the YouTube FanFest powered by HP, and it's going to be a real party.
Thank you, Dom.
Dominator.
Dominator. I remember that. As you saw, there is a huge range from some of the biggest names on the planet, Jenna, Ryan, Bethany, but also a lot of local Asian talent coming from all over Southeast Asia and beyond into Singapore to work with, collaborate with, and learn from some of their heroes as well. So there's going to be an amazing group. Now, do you remember I said last time there were 18 million fans between them, and Singapore went crazy and got shut down, and security problems all over the place? This year we've got 3 times as many subscribers amongst those stars. 55 million subscribers with a combined viewership of 6 billion. So it's kind of amazing. But as I said, it's not about scale. We could have sold this thing out in the indoor stadium. We could easily put it in a 6,000 seat arena, but we wanted to put it in Scape because it's about intimacy, it's about meeting fans, it's about collaborating with each other, it's about kind of having fun. And that's why we're doing it here. In fact, this room will be turned into a giant red beanbag in 3 weeks' time, where we produce the Creator Academy, where an invitation-only audience of young creators get to work with the big stars, and a lot of people coming in from Google and also from the whole conference that we're producing to come and teach them about all things to do with creating. So it's an amazing setup. We could have sold out at the indoor stadium. We're actually going to break the event into 3 shows. It's all on the website. You probably can't read that from there. I can tell you, I can announce that the Saturday evening show that Bethany is in has already sold out. And I imagine that the 2 other shows around that will sell out really quickly as well. As I said, we could have put this into the indoor stadium quite easily, but I don't think that's the right environment for what we're trying to achieve with the stars and their fans. We will be doing something outside. So for the unlucky fans who don't get to actually meet the stars in the theatre downstairs, there will be an opportunity to see the stars. But we'll be announcing that later. Or did I just announce it then? Everything is available here. By the way, our channel's got 63,000 subscribers, so I'm a YouTuber. And just very quickly to say thank you to the sponsors and the partners and supporters who get behind this, because we genuinely can't do this event without them. HP YouTube, MyRepublic, and we'll talk about them in a second. If you want tickets, you have to go to EventClick or our friends at Nets. There are a few tickets left, not many, and also working with the Singapore Polytechnic, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. As I said, tickets are available, EventClick and Nets. Nets are launching a new card for young people called the Yono card, and they have a limited number of tickets available for them. MyRepublic are amazing. They are the challenger brand, they're new. They are providing all the connectivity to the FanFest, to the music festival, and to the conferences at the Ritz-Carlton. This means that we're going to broadcast everything live through the week, seamlessly, without hitch. But no, there are new companies. I think they're well known around Singapore. But we've been very impressed with what they've been able to do for us, and thankfully today, or unsurprisingly today, has gone without a hitch. On to the less exciting stuff, and that's the fact that we have to produce a conference for 3 days. We've got lots of amazing speakers coming to town, and I won't spend too much time talking about who they are because they're amazing. They're leaders from their field. On the digital side, we have broadcasters, we have the Chief Marketing Officer of the Angry Birds, we have the head of Maker Studios who just sold his company for $500 million to Disney. $500 million to Disney. I'm for sale. I've got 63,000 subscribers. If Galton from Maker is here, we're for sale. That's off the record. Music Matters. The guy with the glasses, he runs Universal Music, biggest record label in the world. He's coming to Singapore for the first time. The guy underneath him to his left, he's the biggest music agent in the world. Now these guys are going to come and talk about being very, very clever on the main stage, but they're also going to come and sit in the Music Matters Academy with about 150 young Asian artists and tell them all about running their careers as a business rather than just trying to be rock and roll stars. So they're all coming to give back. And I'm absolutely delighted that this guy is coming. We couldn't get Obama, but he sang for him last night. Apple from the Black Eyed Peas. He's a rare Asian musical icon who has crossed over into every single part of this world. And he's going to be coming, again, not only just to speak as a keynote speaker on the main stage, but I believe he's being interviewed by the Dominator. But he's also going to sit in the academy with 150 young musicians and talk about how to live your life. So really excited and looking forward to that one. And then social, how to go social. And this is brands, teaching brands about how they connect with their audience. So you can see with the FanFest, Music Matters, Digital Matters, Social Matters, there's a real kind of theme about content and creativity coming through there. We work with a lot of partners to make this happen. There are a lot of industry associations we work with, such as the IAB in Singapore, I think everyone knows. Delighted that we can just about announce a deal for the first time with the World Federation of Advertisers. So there's going to be a lot of brands in the room who are there learning about how to share content. It's exactly the same as what the YouTube stars are doing, but brands are now doing it as well. We also talk about, this is the last slide about the conference, I promise. Okay, we'll go back into the fun rock and roll stuff in a minute. We say that we try and make things matter. In September last year, we do an event called Sports Matters. And Sports Matters, the idea of an association, an industry association called the Asian Sponsorship Association came about. Now, just give me 30 seconds on this. Without sponsorship, life would be incredibly dull, and I would say 90% of the people in this room wouldn't have a job. There's no sport, there's no music, there's no television, there's no art, there's no culture, there's no skate, there's no YouTube. Without sponsorship, life is very, very dull. However, the Asian sponsorship market is worth only 5% of global spend. 5%. So we've set up the Asian Sponsorship Association as a separate membership, not-for-profit, based in Singapore, not Hong Kong. And we're going to be launching it at All That Matters with its own conference on sponsorship. So if you're interested in learning from brands who are using sponsorship for sport, music, arts, entertainment, whatever, come along to Sponsorship Matters. Okay, back to the fun stuff. And what's going to be happening at night. So we've got the FanFest at the end of the week. We've got the conferences Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, we have over 60 bands. Over 60 bands coming from all over the world to Singapore to meet new fans, and be discovered by new fans. This is what it's going to look like. Music Matters Live, as it says there, it's a voyage of discovery. 60 bands. They've come from 18 countries, as far from Barbados, Portugal, Philippines, Indonesia, Canada, Australia, 18 countries. They're all coming to Singapore. Isn't this putting Singapore on the map? I mean, it's an amazing, amazing event. They're all coming here to be discovered by the music industry, to learn from the music industry, but also perform to a music-crazy Singaporean crowd. One of the reasons we moved Music Matters here originally was because there are so many live music venues in Singapore. It's fantastic. And unfortunately, our previous home wasn't able to match that. Okay, pens ready? Here they are. It's all on the website, 60 bands from all over the world. What we are doing is a number of country showcases that we do every year. And this year I think we've got 6. We have no fewer than 12 bands coming all the way from Australia to perform at Music Matters Live. The Australian industry has really picked up on Asia as the next destination. It's now sitting alongside the USA, the UK, and now Asia Pacific. We have MC Hot Dog is going to be spearheading a Taiwan showcase. MC Hot Dog is huge, massive award-winning rapper from Taiwan. We have a Canadian, we've had a Canadian showcase for 4 years now, and we're delighted that they're going to be coming back, and Don's from Canada at the back there, just waved. Oh, Canadian's nice. My wife's Canadian. The Japanese showcase this year. Last year we actually almost closed Clark Quay down because the Japanese showcase was so big. We have 3 amazing bands coming in from Japan this year, supported by the Japanese government. For the K-pop showcase, you get kids in the square at Clark Quay at 8 o'clock in the morning waiting for the bands to come. We have an incredible lineup this year. It's not just K-pop, there's rock and roll as well. Bottom left there, Jaorim, if you are Korean, you'll know that they're one of the biggest Korean festival bands. They're huge, and they're coming to Singapore. Lim Kim in the middle there just won the Korean equivalent of The Voice, so there's going to be a very interesting mix of Korean music. And then something that's very, very important to Music Matters Live with HP, and that is that we support Singaporean artists, not just through the Academy, not just at the event, but we have, I think, 12 Singaporean bands playing at the festival, as many as Australia. So we really do want to give a platform for local bands to meet and play with artists from all over the world. So we can announce this now. The Singapore Showcase will feature 6 bands at the moment. We also have a listener's choice competition going with Lush Radio, where they're going to choose 1 more. So we're going to have 7 bands in the Singapore Showcase, and then another 5 bands will be playing around Clark Quay as well. So delighted to be able to announce that. Now these bands have been selected before anyone asks. They've been selected by a committee from Singapore Music Society and people within the music industry, totally independent. No one's tied to any of the bands or anything like that. So it's a totally independently chosen 6 bands, and then Lush choosing the 7th. And it's all free. It's all free. The idea here is that these bands are coming here to be discovered, and they want to meet new fans and have new fans meet them. So why should we charge people to get in to see it? So every single venue is free. The Fountain Square is free, and it's live on YouTube for 3 nights. So it's a great opportunity if you're young and in a band to get discovered. Lots and lots of people make it possible to be free. It's entirely sponsorship driven. Talk about the Sponsorship Association. So we're very, very grateful for all these companies. I put this up every year to say thank you to Johnny at the back, because what's a music festival without an alcohol sponsor? And this year they've got Jose Cuervo in, which is my favourite tequila of choice. Probably not for 11:30 in the morning, but maybe. But very, very grateful to all the support for all the brands that get behind the bands. As well, this is not. I mean, this is an international music festival, but it's produced locally. And Danny and the team at Timber Music have partnered with us this year to produce all of the shows. So very, very proud to be working with Danny, because, as everyone knows, he's a great Singaporean flag waver. For the Academy, similar to the Creator Academy, the Music Academy will be taking up here as well. really equipping young musicians with the ability to succeed. We get these rock and rollers walking into the academy every year. Some of you may have been there, and if you have, I hope I don't offend you. But they turn up with tattoos, spiky hair, and say, hey, I'm cool, I'm in a band. And we say, well, where's your business plan? And they say, yeah, I'm in a band. I don't need a business plan. And then they discover they need a business plan, and in fact, so the academy is all about equipping them for business. And that will be taking place here, and again, powered very much by HP, enabling the young creators of tomorrow. More community work for us as well is, I mentioned that we give people opportunities even before they've started their careers. And we work very closely with the Republic Poly and the Singapore Poly. Their students come and actually produce the music festival and the fan fest as well. So it's great to see a bunch of teenagers running around actually producing all that content. And it's great, great, great fun working with them. Finally, if it wasn't for the Singapore government, we wouldn't be here. As I said, this started 9 years ago in another country. The Singapore government came to us and said, we want you to help us put Singapore on the map. Hopefully you've seen that we really are doing a lot to put Singapore on the map as a genuine Asia-Pacific hub of entertainment and digital media. But the last speaker here today, and to be very patient, even more patient than Bethany, the person at the tourism board who has, and I have to read this because it's the best, it is the best title of all of them. She is the Executive Director of Arts, Entertainment and Integrated Resorts. Carrie Quick.
Hello, thanks Jasper. Actually, I really do work very hard, even though the title sounds really sexy, I promise you. Just a quick few words. I think there's been so much that's been shared already, and I don't want to repeat. But I think, personally, it nearly brought tears to my eyes when I've seen how the event has developed in the past 4 years. I think when we first engaged Jasper and his team, we were very certain that he could help us to deliver a very good outcome, which we want, which is quality tourism. And I think this event, All That Matters, really embodies what quality tourism is about, which is really about us driving economic contribution together with innovative tourism enterprises and really an engaged local community. So really, I think the past hour we've seen how all that comes together, and I really, congratulate Jasper and his team for putting us where we are today. I think the other part of it, in terms of from the Singapore Tourism Board's perspective, is that this whole thing comes about because we are able to actually pull together both hardware and software elements. And I think we're really at an exciting time where this year we'll already see, the Sports Hub opening, which gives us great capacity for driving new entertainment content. So Jasper, you can fill not only Singapore Indoor Stadium, but also Sports Hub, as well as also the programming content, just as important. I think already today we continue to see very good growth of the current live music festivals that we have, whether or not it's Zouk Out to Bay Beats, Laneway Festival, and we would welcome a lot more of new creative content, not just big scale, but also small scale. And this is where I'll put a plug for the Kickstart Fund, which is something that STB helps to drive, where it encourages big and small companies to come in and share with us their new creative ideas. I think for All That Matters, they're a strong supporter of what Jasper and his team are trying to achieve. We see All That Matters as helping us to fulfill the objective of strengthening Singapore's reputation as a center for entertainment, innovation, and also talent discovery, which is really important. The programs that you've seen today really showcase how there is an ability to provide a very important platform for idea generation amongst different people, discussion about key issues of concern to the industry, and of course the very important element of making sure that You know, there's an ongoing collaboration, business opportunities, matchmaking for people that are not just in Singapore but in the region. And I think also one of the things that's very important for SCE's perspective is the ability for our local musicians to actually have face-to-face interactions, you know, with the best in class. And I think what we really like is the fact that there are very intimate dialogue sessions through the Music Matters Academy. And so we would like to congratulate you. We think that this whole model of B2B2C is very successful because it really showcases that a traditional business conference can be really integrated with a play element. And in this respect, it really makes good sense. There's a lot more value created for the people that attend, whether or not you're a delegate or accompanying entourage. So we hope a lot more people will come in to adopt this business model. So thank you once again, Jasper and your team, and we look forward to a successful event.
Thank you very much, Carrie. Okay, Jasper, if I may just quickly take over here for 1 second. Before we open up to some Q&A, as I mentioned earlier, joining the international list of YouTube stars that are coming over to Singapore, of course, we've got to include Singapore's very own as well. We've got a couple of them in the room with us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome up here now my man, D-Kosh. D-Kosh is in the house. D-Kosh is coming over. Have a seat. And we've got 3 of the 5 Tree Potatoes. The Tree Potatoes are here in the house as well. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause to these 3. Aaron, Clifford. Now, I just want to make sure I got this right. It's the 3 of you here, Aaron, Clifford, and Elliot, right? And the other 2? Aaron, Elliot, and Clifford. Gotcha, okay. But normally there's 5 of you. There's 5 of you. So if you could just please explain to the uninitiated what it is that you guys do on YouTube.
Right, so we do comedy videos on YouTube. We try to bring a little bit of Western humor with local humor and infuse them together to produce something fun for Singaporean audiences to watch.
Wow, that was really well put. That was unscripted, that was amazing. Okay, so give us a, I don't even need the mic, you just keep on the mic, you hold the mic. Give us an idea though of what sort of content, what sort of videos, what makes it so funny and what makes it so that people keep on coming back and subscribing to your videos.
I suppose we just look at ourselves, which that's like the most narcissistic thing to say, but you look at your own life and just start thinking like, hey, why is my life such a big joke? That came up weird. And so like you just take things in life and you put it on screen for people to see, and it's relatable. And when it's relatable, people tend to see the humor in their own lives on a day-to-day basis.
You guys are based, you guys are based here, but you guys have a lot of subscribers from around the world as well, not just in Singapore. Do you guys, when you guys create your videos, do you tailor it specifically for here in Singapore, or do you think that doesn't matter? We know that people from all over the world will be checking this out.
Right, so we try to make sure that our videos appeal to everyone, but we add a little bit of Singapore humor into it. But I think one of our most popular videos was actually picked up by 9gag, and it went viral in the States, and we saw a lot of people in Poland watching it. There was a lot of Europeans watching it. So we actually try to keep it open for people from anywhere to watch it, because we feel like we need to reach an international audience.
Sure. But give me like summarize the history between you guys. I mean, you're not related, right? I mean, you guys are all, your buddies. How did you guys first get started? I mean, because, a lot of the times people look at these videos on YouTube and the amount of subscribers that you get, not just the views, but the subscribers are astronomical. You think, how did this all begin? Do you guys remember how it all began?
It actually began really weird. We were all initially working for the same company before, and we actually had a previous YouTube channel that we used to run, and it was really tiny. We were getting like a few thousand views. We were talking about video games, geeky stuff that nobody wants to watch. And then we kind of like started to branch out into comedy, and then that's when things kind of just picked up. And after that, we decided that we wanted to branch out and start our own channel. So we left and created Tree Potatoes.
Why Tree Potatoes?
First of all, there's this Singaporean saying, "Chak kentang," which means you eat potatoes, and it just means that you're kind of like Western influenced, an Asian that's Western influenced. So our humor is really Western influenced, I went to international school. I mean, English is our primary language for most of us. And the three, because there was actually initially 3 founders, and we wanted to be the 3 potatoes on YouTube, but the name was taken, so it ended up being 3. Which kind of was quirky, so we thought it would
It works. It works. Clearly, it works. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. I'll just pass it over to Dkosh. Tweedledee. What's going on, man?
Let me just say, I'm so excited to be hosting with you.
Me too.
You're gonna have your hands full, I'm telling you.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you say that. I mean, if you see me on stage,
have you seen me on stage?
No, I haven't. So I'm looking forward to seeing like working with you.
But
I'm kind of feeling though, I'm gonna have to work on my hairdo a little bit. I think mine's a little bit too conservative.
Yeah.
Looking, maybe get an undercut on either side. And
make it purple.
Make it purple.
Yeah.
Do you do that, style that hair every morning, or is it just because half the time of the night you're sleeping on your left, sleeping on your right?
Actually, that is true. I purposely sleep on my side and I push my hair up so that it forms up nicely. But no, it's not like this all the time.
Okay,
Yes, I have bad hair
looking
days.
good. I'm actually thinking, folks, and he's probably going to hate me for saying this, but I'm actually thinking that as part of the huge ongoing success of YouTube FanFest with HP, that I think that maybe we should do this, seeing as how it's going to stream live around the world, that maybe we should get Jasper, the president, on stage and give him the same hairdo. What do you
should ask Bethany Mota.
We should. I mean, she is the fashion guru. If Bethany says yes, will you do it, Jasper, for the sake of all the fans watching? Believe you me, we will get a whole load of more subscribers if we announce that. Your daughter will think you're awesome too. Awesome. Okay, Dkosh. So we're going to be hosting this thing together. We're going to have a great time doing it. And but for you, I mean, there's an added perk about it, in that you're going to be meeting a lot of your fellow colleagues from all over the world. That's going to be a major bonus for it.
It was, because the thing is, like, the names that are coming down this year, I used to watch them. It's because of them that I started vlogging like 4 years ago. I mean, I watched like people like Higa and Jenna Marbles, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to do this also in Singapore. And I did, and it just became what it is now. So it's very interesting to finally see them off screen in real life and touch them like, oh, you're real, you know, they're not just a figment of my imagination.
It's going to be awesome having you on stage interacting with those guys. But, you know, for you as a vlogger, you know, it's very difficult. It's not easy to be able to just go online, start filming yourself and going, right, I've got something interesting to tell the world. Where do you draw your inspiration from to just get up every day and be able to go, all right, I'm going to talk about something cool, and have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people start watching it?
Well, I think there are different kinds of vloggers at the same time. Okay, there are the happy vloggers like Jenna Marbles and all that. Then there are the angry vloggers, which is myself. Okay, I've been inspired by the scum of this earth. Okay, by the annoying people, by the annoying things people do, by the stupid things people do. Like in Singapore, how stupid some people are. You know, you're just inspired by that, and then we rage it out online. And people who share the same sentiment or agree with you will just watch your videos or hate you.
Sure. But clearly they like you, the amount of likes that you've got so far, and the subscribers as well. But I think that's also a really good thing. It gives people an opportunity, really, not to, I suppose, to vent, but also just to shed light on what really happens in everyday life, right? And that's exactly what you do. And you guys as well, the Tree Potatoes, you do that through the medium of comedy, which works as well. So what about like collaborations? I mean, there's other Singaporean YouTube stars and starlets, you know, like Xia Xue is, you know, am I right in saying she's like the Bethany Mota of Singapore? I mean, she's got like that pink hair going, and she's a fashionista and this thing. What about a collaboration between all of you? Do you guys ever like, you know, what is it, direct message each other and say, hey, what do you guys up to? Do you want to do a video together? Does any of that cross your mind?
Yeah, in fact, we actually do work with a lot of the other YouTubers here in Singapore. So the comedy scene for us just kind of was in its infancy last year, and since then we've collaborated with quite a few people, and we see a lot of new channels coming up here in Singapore. And of course, if one day it's possible, we'd love to work with Dkosh.
He's asking me in front of everyone.
Yeah, I'm putting it on the spot right now. Now you can't say it's like a proposal.
But you know, you guys are very much into comedy. Like people like Ryan Higa, who is an absolute master at creating that sort of content. Certainly having him out here, maybe a collaboration with someone like Ryan, do somewhere down at like, I don't know, Sentosa or something like that. Ever cross your mind?
Or we can shave his head.
You could try to shave his head. He's pretty quick at it, but yeah, you could try to shave his head. That'd be fun. But I still think we should be shaving Jasper's head. I think that'd be more fun.
I agree.
I think Ryan should do it. That'd be even funnier. Okay. So thank you very much, guys, for taking the time out and coming down here for this PC. But right now, what I want to do, guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, I know Jasper has covered a lot of ground, as indeed all of our speakers have. But if there's any questions that you'd like to ask right now to any of the YouTube stars or speakers on stage, now's your chance. Don't let that put you off. Now's your chance. I'm going to give it to the can of 3. 1, 2, 3. Cool. No questions. So, thank you very much, you guys. Once again, we're going to be around the room. If there's anything else you'd like to ask us in private, then please feel free. Thanks once again to all of our speakers. Marcus, thanks so very much. The Escape was awesome. We're looking forward to coming down here and hanging out with you guys. Give it up for Marcus, folks. Thank you very much. Cheryl, thank you so much. HP rocks. Thank you so very much. Mark as well, YouTube rocks. And of course, our YouTube stars here from Singapore, the Treat Potatoes and Dkosh, who we're working with as well. And please, a big round of applause to the Godfather himself, Mr. Jasper Kennedy. And we look forward to partying with you come May 20th through May 25th. Thank you very much. We'll see you then.